Sri Lanka's rich heritage is best experienced through its cuisine, where every dish reflects centuries of global encounters. The Sinhala and Tamil New Year, or Aurudu as it is called in Sinhala, and Puttandu in Tamil, celebrated in April, epitomizes this cultural fusion. More than a new beginning, Aurudu or Puttandu is a celebration of Sri Lanka's unity in diversity, best seen and savored around the festive table. In this video, we explore the surprising histories behind some of the most iconic Aurudu sweets and savories. We begin with Kokis, the quintessential Aurudu delicacy, delicate, golden, and intricately shaped like a flower. It is a kind of treat that generations of Sri Lankans have grown up with, something so woven into the New Year tradition that it is hard to imagine a time without it. But here's the twist. Kokis isn't native to Sri Lanka at all. For starters, the name itself is not Sinhala or Tamil, it is Dutch. Cookies, meaning cookies or biscuits, is what the Dutch call their small, sweet baked treats. During the occupation of the coastal regions of Sri Lanka, formerly Ceylon, from the 17th to the 18th centuries, the Dutch left behind more than just forts and place names. They left crumbs of their own culinary culture too. Yet, the Dutch origin of the name tells only half the story. The recipe traces its roots much farther east to the archipelago of Southeast Asia. In Indonesia and Malaysia, you will find a dish called Kembang goyang, which translates to shaking flour cake. Made of rice flour, coconut milk, sugar and eggs, this delicacy is pressed into ornate flour molds and deep fried, resulting in crispy, sweet treat that looks and even tastes nearly identical to Sri Lankan cookies. The resemblance is not coincidental. During the Dutch colonial period, many Malays were brought to Sri Lanka as soldiers and political exiles. These Malays, known today as Orang Melayu Sri Lanka, brought with them not only their language and customs but also their culinary traditions. Kokis, or rather Kue Kembang goyang, arrived with them, flourished in the island's kitchens, and became part of the Aurudu ritual. Even today, Kokis is lovingly prepared in Sri Lankan Malay households during weddings, almsgivings, and range of other festivities. It is a cherished link to a shared past, a crunchy, golden relic of the island's connection to the far corners of the erstwhile Dutch Empire and beyond. Now let us turn to another Aurudu icon, Kevum or oil cakes. These deep-fried, dark golden sweets soaked in treacle are as synonymous with Sri Lankan festivity as the firecrackers that light up the April sky. But unlike Kokis, Kevum is surmised by Sri Lankan academics to be entirely and authentically Sri Lankan, or so it seems until you dig a little deeper. According to Sri Lankan scholars, Kevum's roots stretch deep into the fabric of Sri Lanka's ancient past, over 2,000 years to be precise. According to the Mahavamsa, the revered chronicle of the island's history, none other than King Tutulu himself, one of Sri Lanka's most celebrated monarchs, offered oil cakes as alms during the 2nd century BCE. But Kevum's role in history wasn't confined to royal charity or temple offerings. A fascinating legend tells us that during King Tutulu's military campaigns, his army would prepare large quantities of kevum months ahead of time, not for eating but for healing. The cakes were left exposed to the open air to allow natural mold to develop. This mold, it is said, was later used to create a kind of antiseptic poultice for treating battlefield wounds and preventing infection. If the tale holds even a kernel of truth, Kevum may be among the rarest of culinary traditions in the world, both a battlefield remedy and a festive treat passed down across generations virtually unchanged. That said, food historians believe that the term kevum, in its specific reference to oil cakes, gained currency only during the Dambadenya Kurunagala period, somewhere between the 13th and 14th centuries. Over time, the dish evolved in both form and function. By the 12th century, works like Bud Sarana refer to soft, flour-based cakes under the name kevmak, hinting at earlier variations of the treat. A century later, the Saddharma Ratnavalaya describes a version called Kevum filled with sweetened ingredients and possibly baked, suggesting that what we now know as Kevum was once part of a broad family of cakes and sweetmeats. By this point in time, Kevum had cemented its place not only in cuisine but in culture. In the beloved Ummag Jataka, Kevum is referenced as the ideal gift to take when visiting one's parents, a gesture of reverence and affection wrapped in deep fried sweetness. It was a token of love, a mark of festivity, and a symbol of good fortune. And then comes one of the most curious anecdotes in Kevum's long journey, a moment of sweet diplomacy recorded by none other than the 17th century English sea captain Robert Knox. After being shipwrecked and detained in the Kandyan kingdom for nearly 20 years, Knox documents his observation in the seminal and historical relation of the island Ceylon. Among the many scenes he describes is one that captures Kevum at the crossroads of history. When Dutch emissaries arrived at the Kandyan court, they were greeted with trays of deep-fried oil cakes, generous, aromatic, and golden brown. The Dutch, unfamiliar with such culinary craftsmanship, were so taken by the delicacy that they reportedly asked if these sweets grew on trees, believing it beyond human skill to create such confections by hand. That single, almost whimsical line is telling. It shows that even in the 1600s, Kevum was more than just a seasonal indulgence. It was a national treasure, worthy of being served to foreign dignitaries and admired by kings and captains alike. But here's where the story gets even more global again, because halfway across Asia, in the markets of Malaysia and the night stalls of Jakarta, you will find Cucur, a sweet, crispy-edged, soft-centered fritter made from rice flour and palm sugar. It looks almost identical to our local Kevum, and the preparation process is virtually the same. In Bahasa Indonesia and Bahasa Melayu, both written in Latin script, the letter C is pronounced as chur, as in church. So though it is spelled Cucur, it is pronounced Cucur. And just like Kevum, these sweet discs are fried in hot oil, puffing up into circular shapes. They are immensely popular across Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, southern Thailand and Brunei. While Kevum is traditionally made with kitul pani, sugar palm treacle, Cucur often uses Gula Melaka or coconut sugar. Regional variations with strikingly similar results. The similarities don't end there. Both cuisines have multiple variants. In Sri Lanka, we find Kondi Kevum with its top knot-like hump, Narang Kevum shaped like small mandarins, Moong Kevum made with moong dal, and Tala Kevum coated in sesame. Indonesia and Malaysia have their own parallels, such as Cucur Kacang made with gram, mirroring Sri Lanka's moong Kevum. In every bite of Kokis and Kevum, we taste the stories of our ancestors, the resilience of our communities, and the boundless creativity of cooks who turned history into tradition. If you have enjoyed this dive into Sri Lanka's culinary history and want to explore more dishes with global roots, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And please do check out the sources and recommended readings in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos, and as always, feel free to reach me at tuanzamirwrites@gmail.com. Until next time, this is me, Zamir Karim, signing off, uncovering history one story at a time. Take care and God bless you all. Ayubowan and Wanakam.